I'm going to show you the next step here. I want to add some, looking here, there's this overhang here. I want to add some shading beneath there and maybe a little bit on the bottom. So, whoops. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge these. I don't want to merge this. So just one texture for the wall here, and then make sure the wall's selected. Okay. I'm going to select black. I want FG transparent in the here. So let's make sure that's selected. I'm going to start from the top and just bring it down to here. Maybe, and maybe just a little bit, not as much, but some on the bottom. Alright. And again, I probably should have done that on a new layer, so I'm going to undo that, make a new layer, and then do it again. Alright. Just like that. There we go. I'm going to bring down the opacity. And we're going to play with this a little bit, but I'm just going to set it somewhere here. Now I'm going to file. I should probably save this too. I'm just going to say hang once again. Alright. And now I'm going to export it. Just to overwrite it. And go back in here. Reset the texture. Whoops. Now I have the texture still selected in here. I'm going to go to edit and just reselect the image. So I just have it already typed in here. I'm going to say open. There, now it's shaded. And I might even bring that shading up a little more, but at the moment that looks pretty good. Some other things you might want to add. I'm going to try this. I'm going to add a little corrosion on this metal here. So I'm going to go back into here. I downloaded another texture from let me just show you it first. Download another texture from CG Textures. I need to go back to where I have that texture. There it is. So it's a decal. I downloaded this from CG Textures. It's under decals, actually. And they just have lots of these out there. I mean, there's lots of textures on CG Textures in general, but this one I grabbed, just transparency and then some colored leakage type of things here. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to go back here and open it again as a layer. Alright. Now again, I'm going to have to scale this way down. And I'm going to scale it back up. That would probably be pretty good. I'm just going to position it right there. I'm going to duplicate it and bring this. It's best if you add some sort of wear to your textures or something, because it won't look too good in Flight Sim if you don't have some depth or contrast in your textures. So I always try to add something that's going to do that for me. I'm going to go ahead and merge these down. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to keep doing it here. Fill up the rest. Whoops. Go back here. Duplicate. Slide it over. Okay. And I'm going to do it one more time here. Right over to here. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to merge them all down now. Alright, and that looks like one layer there too. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring down the opacity of that. Just to right about... I don't want it to be too defined. I just want to be able to notice it. So it just kind of looks like there's like dust or rain on there. I mean, dirt on there that stripped down from maybe rain on it at some point. Export to Hangar once again. I'm gonna reload it here in SketchUp. Okay, so now we got. Oh, I see one mistake I made here. This is why it's good to name your layers. I actually merged down these wear layers onto my shading layer, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and just rename this and call it Shade. Okay. Now we got that. I'm going to redo the transparency here. Save. And then export. Reload it here. There we go. So we basically have one wall more or less textured here. Obviously I'm probably going to end up coming back here at some point and refining it, but that's pretty well done. I want to do this in one. I'm going to give you one more example here. So again, I went in here and took a snip of this wall right here, just to the center, and I just took it from here, this corner, down to this corner, about approximately, brought it in here, and I really just wanted the sort of the box dimensions of that wall. I didn't include the angle in there. So this is what that is there here. So I'm just going to take this texture and I'm going to bring it down here. Alright, and make sure it's above this wall, and I'm going to delete this. Alright, and I'm also going to need to just stretch this texture upwards just a little bit. I don't want to change to the width at all, just the height, just a few pixels. Let's see if that works, hopefully. Alright, let's just see how much. That's more or less right on. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a guide from down here and put one on the bottom of this part of the texture. Okay. Now we got that. There is a little bit of an angle. The only reason why I need to worry about this angle on the wall here is the shading. So I'm just going to eyeball this. So it's going to be about right about here. Whoops, probably don't want to do it that way. Alright, so I'm just going to click on this corner. I'm going to just eyeball about where it is. Alright, I'm going to go down to this corner, this corner. Again, this is snapping into the guides, and so the guides are really helpful here. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take the shading, make a new layer here, use the blend tool, but this time I want to make it a little angled, not straight down, just angled a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. Alright, do it so far down. I might even do it just a little further, just for the heck of it. Alright, let's do it one more time here. You just gotta give it a couple tries so you get it right about where you want. That's good enough. I'm going to do the bottom here as well. And I'm going to bring down the opacity. Let's see what I set the opacity on this shading here. I set it to 33.5, so I'll set it around 33. Right, or exactly. And I'm going to change the name of this to Shade 2. So I have that. I'm not going to worry about this part of the texture. I'm not going to delete that at all. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to take the decals we have here now. Gonna duplicate it, hold down shift, bring it down here, and I'll need to move this one above my blue wall here. Okay, and I need to rotate this. I'm just going to use an arbitrary rotation on it and just eye it here. That's close enough. I say rotate. And I'm going to just move this up into place. That should be good. Save a new layer. Maybe just move it over just a little bit. Okay. I wanted to delete the rest. I was going to delete this layer now, because when I rotated it, it created a new layer here called transformation. I'm going to see why I set the opacity to this decal. So it says 35, so I'm going to do the same with this one. Alright. I'm just going to say save, file, export, and reload it. I should probably try that one more time. Oh, I thought it already had applied a texture. Now I can see what's going on here. Oh, and I didn't realize this, but I see I messed up my texture up here, so I'm just gonna... These are mistakes you make when you're doing this, and so you just gotta watch out for them and try to fix them before they get too bad. Alright. It's more or less fixed. I just need to delete that, merge this down, and move this below my decals and shading for that part of the texture. So I'm going to just go ahead and re-export this again and load the texture. Alright, that fixed that. So now I'm going to go over here. I have that texture selected. I'm just going to fill this, and now I'm going to grab I'm going to select the plane, say texture or wall if you want to call it. I'm going to say texture, position. I'm going to move it over here where I can see it. And the same thing, just position the pins accordingly here. I'm going to set this one. I'm not going to break it down to this edge corner right here. I'm going to do it right up here. I'm going to grab this pin. And this pin. Alright. And I'm just going to click, drag, snap into that corner. Snap this one into this corner. And this one into that corner. And this one I'm not going to snap it into that corner there. I'm just going to, it's going to create a box, SketchUp is. And you just need to place it right there so it stretches right. You can see I didn't quite get that angle of the roof line quite right, but it's close enough, and no one's no one's gonna know. And so that looks pretty good. If it looked bad enough, I'd go back in there and redo it, but I think that looks pretty good.